So we're now being recorded. Okay, and as Akiva sent me earlier, today's shir is sponsored by a whole host of people. It's sponsored by SHMIEL URMAN Family, that there's refuah for shleima for those infected, and should shield all those who are healthy. From CHAIM ZVI LEBOVITZ and his family, in the schus of keeping everybody safe and healthy, and a special bracha to Akiva Balter, and your boys from bench Akiva and his family bkol mikol. And it's being sponsored by MEYER TENENBAUM, Liluy nishmas, our Hershel, our dear Hershel, Mordechai Tzvi, when Dovid, whose Yartzeit is tomorrow, Wednesday. And today's broadcast is also being sponsored by Moshe Stern, Liluy nishmas, his grandmother, Ester Bas Avrohom-Whose Yartzeit is today, Nisan TNTBH. Okay.
And open SHMIEL URMAN's mic.
Should I open it?
Yes, please.
Okay, he's raising his hand.
Yeah, because I guess you muted him.
I'm trying to unmute him. Let's see if it works. Doesn't want to unmute, but we'll see what we can do. Okay, I'll keep on clicking unmute. Eventually it'll go. Okay, Zok Tehelig Gemara. Habachol Shabbos. So we said the Yom Tov Huda Aser. It's Aser to burn kachim on Yom Tov. Habachol Shaper Dami. During the week you're supposed to. Rashi says Shaper Dami is Hanuye Minei. You're not supposed to burn it, but you're allowed to benefit from the flame, from the heat, from the light. Omarav, my time. How do you know that you're supposed to benefit, or you're allowed to benefit from kachim that's getting burned? Omarav Kashem Shemitza Lisra Kachim Shenitmu. Just like it's a mitzvah to burn kachim that became tamei, kach mitzvah lisrak is a truma shenitmas. So too is it a mitzvah to burn truma that became tamei. V'amr Torah, and the Torah said, "B'shas bi'ura tahani mimena." While you're burning the kachim and truma, you should have enough from it. Fracti Gemara, heichel amr Torah. Where did the Torah tell us that we should benefit from it while we're burning it? Zok to Gemara, Mider Rav Nachman. By the way, Shmuel, you're unmuted. Mider Rav Nachman.
Yeah, thanks.
Good morning, welcome.
Morning. I know I had one ha'ura I wanted this to make, but I don't know. You were saying, what can we do? I'm saying, as I say to Hillam here and there, I see some kapitulach that maybe I took for granted, and have a little more meaning to me. Like one particular one was one of the Shir Amalis, right? Right? Now that you're stuck at home,
Samachti b'oimrim beis Hashem.
Yeah, I try to say that with a little bit more kavanah, and maybe it'll come to fruition. That's all I wanted to say.
Amen. Shkoyach. Okay. So b'amr Torah b'shas bi'ura tahani mimena. In fact, heichen amr Torah. So tomorrow we do Rav Nachman. The Amar Rav Nachman, Amar Rabba bar Refuah, Amar Krav, Vani Hineni Nosati Lecha Es Mishmeres Trumoisai. So the Torah is talking about the truma that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave Klal Yisrael. So the pasuk says, Vaydav Hashem al Moshe, Vani Hineni Nosati Lecha Es Mishmeres Trumoisai. I gave you the Mishmeres of Trumoisai, 2 trumos. I gave you 2 separate trumos. So Rav Nachman learns from there. The Torah is hinting to 2 separate trumos. Achas truma tahira, which we understand how the Kohanim benefit from it, they can eat it. The achas truma tameya, and there's even a benefit that the Kadosh Baruch Hu gives to the Kohanim in truma tameya, and that is that they can benefit from the full value of the truma that they have at the Tameh. It's to you to enjoy. It's to you, it's for your benefit, that you could use it, such as to provide a fire and heat to cook with. So that was one raya we have, that you're allowed to have hana from truma tameya that you're burning. It says in Bir Maisrus, we say lo yachalti ba'oini mimenu v'lo bi'arti mimenu b'tamei v'lo nisati mimenu l'mei shemati b'kol Hashem alakay asizak chalachis asher tzvi. So Rabbi Vol wants to elaborate. It says "Lo bi'arti mimeni b'tamei." That's talking about meiser. Zok Gemara mimenu for meiser sheni atamadir. You're not allowed to benefit and burn when it's tamei. Aval atamadir shemen shel truma shenitmas. So we have a deal. Dafka meiser sheni. You're not allowed to burn if it's tamei and benefit from the fuel value from the flame, to the exclusion of something else. And Rabbi Vo Omar B'Yechanan is saying, what are we excluding? We're excluding Shemen Truma from this prohibition of burning, and we're saying that Truma is different. You're allowed to burn it, you're allowed to have enough of it.
Isn't the context here Bikurim, if I'm not mistaken?
It's beer meisers, Rashi says. Rashi says, B'meiser sheni ksiv. So that's beer meisers. So the third year, I think, of the Shemitah year, you have to make beer meisers. So the Gemara says it's not explicit.
This statement is made when you bring bikurim. If I'm not, isn't that? I
think bringing bikurim is a different presentation.
So when is this statement made? This is a nusach in the Torah of you've got to actually make this statement.
Yeah, it said when I think it's every third year. I think every third year of the Shemitah cycle. I think you have to get rid of all your meiser sheni, and I think that's when it said.
No, this pasuk is bikurim. This is Parshas Kisovoi. Part of the question in my mind is lo achalti mimenu.
Rashi tells us we're talking about beer meiser. So
Okay.
You give me a minute. I can pull out a chumash. Give me 1 second.
Maybe he says it when he brings the bikurim, but he also discusses his maestros that he did.
So give me 1 second. I'm just going to grab a chumash. 1 second.
Wow, an empty chair. I could put Putin in it.
Let's see you do that.
If you want to get YOSY upset, put Justin in there.
That's my arch chumash here. And we're looking for Dvorim Chavav Yudal. Pasuk here. Can you see the pasuk?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what it's talking about. It says, "Ki sechala laser spomashet v'oscha b'shana shlishi shnasha meiser." When you finish getting rid of all your meiser on the third year, so Rashi's kishatigmar lahafresh meisers shel shana hashlishis. When you finish the mafresh, the meisers of the third year of the Shemitah cycle, kavas man havir. That's when we're supposed to get rid of all of the meisers from our household. And this is something that's said Erev Pesach in the fourth year of the Shemitah cycle. And we have a drasha that's written. So this is the fourth year of the Shemitah cycle before Pesach. You took all your meiser to get rid of. You brought all your meiser up to Israel, up to Yerushalayim. So you have to distribute all your meisers. You cannot hoard it. So this is not referring to bikurim. This is referring to beer meisers, which is the fourth year Pesach.
Turn to the previous page.
On the previous page, it's talking about bikurim. So yes, right before this parsha, the Torah has the parsha of bikurim, which is over here. But kisachala is a new subject that's talking about beer meisers.
Okay.
So they are side by side, but it's talking about two different things. So by meisers, it says focus back a little more. So by meisers, it says so we're medayik dafka meiser you can't consume when it's tamei, but other things you can. Now, the Gemara attributes that to Truma. The Gemara is going to challenge that. Who said Truma? There's other things as well. Who said that it's Truma Shenitma that you'll have enough from? Maybe the Pasuk is trying to tell us that Kachim that are Tamei, you're allowed to have enough from. The Gemara love Kavachaimer. Is it not a Kavachaimer for Meiser? Ma Meiser Hakal. Madach Meiser, which is Kal. It doesn't have Kedusha. You can't be moil in it. Amra Torah. The Torah said, Loi bi'arti mimenu b'tamei. Kodesh, Homer. Kachim, which is Homer. Like Alshvin, surely it should be usher to be Mevayer Kachim when you tummy. Frek to Gemara, Ihaki Truma Nami. Truma is also more Homer than Meiser. So you should be able to make the same Kavachomer in reference to Truma. Lema Kavachomer. Zok to Gemara, but Haksiv Mimenu, we have a miyut by Meiser to tell us that there is an exclusion to this rule of not being able to benefit from it when it's tummy. So we have Meiser that we know for sure you're not allowed to benefit from it when it's tummy. And now we have Kachim and we have Truma. The Gemara arbitrarily decided to say that the miyut is for Truma, saying that you are allowed to have Hanoah from it when it's tummy, and the Kavachomer is to Kachim. Correct the Gemara, maybe flip it around. Umarois. Who said that it's logical in your fashion, if anything, say that the exclusion is for Kachim and the Kavachomer is for Truma. So to Gemara, Mistaber Kodesh loy memeita. It's more mistaber to say that Kodesh is more Chomer and we should not be memayed from the Isser of benefiting from it when it's Tamei. Why is that? Shekein Siman, we have 6 things. Panik, Achas. These 6 things, and the Gemara is going to list them off, what each letter means one by one, but there's 6 reasons why Kachim is more Chomer and why Kachim should have an Isser to consume when it's Tamei. A is Pigel. There's an Isser Pigel by Kachim, which does not apply to Truma. There's no Isser Pigel by Truma. Noiser. There's Isser Noiser that applies only to Kachim. It does not apply to Truma. Carbon. All Kachim are carbon. There's a special Kedusha. It's a carbon to their Rebbeinu, while Truma is not. It's a gift to the Kohen. Me'ila. There's a din Me'ila. If you benefit from Kachim B'Shogeg, you have to bring a carbon Me'ila, and you have to pay back a Chomish. The Karis, if you eat Truma when you're Tamei, you're Chayiv Karis. And so there's Pigel, Noiser, carbon, and then Ayin is Me'ila, and Chav is Karis, and Mem is Aser L'Ainin. It's Aser for an Ainin to eat a carbon. Zok Gemara Adarabah. Truma Lema Me'itna. Truma, we should say, has the Isser to eat when it's Tamei. Shekein Machpaz, which is Siman Misa, meaning Rashi says Misa b'dei Shemayim l'sar ha'oichla, and then there's Chaimish. If you eat Truma by mistake, when you pay it back, you have to add a Chaimish. And the Ein La Pigeon, unlike Kachin, which if it has a mum, if it's Psulim Mekdashim, where you could be paid it, Truma, you could never be paid it. It always belongs to the Kohen. And Vasur Lazarim. Truma is always usher for a Yisrael to eat, but Karbonis are not. For instance, a carbon Shlomim, the Bailam eat. So you see special chumras by Truma. So there's a longer list of chumras by Kachim than there are by Truma, and therefore, if we have a choice between Kachim and Truma, which one to asher its consumption when it's Tamei, and which one to be matter its consumption when it's Tamei, it makes more sense to be matter the consumption of Truma when it's Tamei, because it has less chumras, and to asher the consumption of Kodesh when it's Tamei, because it has more chumras. We don't look at the quantity of the chumras of Kodesh over the quantity of the chumras of Truma. Rather, we look at the quality of the chumra. And Kodesh chumra shekein onish kares. The fact that Kachim has with it associated a chiyuv kares, that's such an overwhelming factor to say that Kachim is more chomer, and therefore will apply the Isser of having hanoah from Kachim that are Tamei to Kachim, and will say that by Truma, if it's Tamei, you're allowed to burn it and benefit. Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak Amar, Amar Kra, Titein loy, v'loy lo'iroi. The pasuk says, let's look it up over here. It says, Reishis the gancha tiroishcha v'yitzarecha, v'reishis ges tzoncha titein loy. You should give to the kohen. So we darshan loy, give it to him to benefit the loy lo'iroi, but don't give it to him when it's tummy. And what Rashi explains is that if you have produce that's tummy and you have produce that's tahar, and they're both tevel, don't separate truma from the pile that's tummy to be misakin your tevel that's tahar, so that you're only giving to the kohen produce that's tummy, and you get to retain all of the produce that's tahar for yourself. Don't do that. But mechalal Bas Avrohom, you see from here that if you do give a kohen truma that's tummy, he could use it for its fire. So you see that kohanim are a lot of benefit from burning truma tummy. Okay, so let's go more about here. Rabbi Shmuel said that you're not allowed to use itron because it smells very bad. Let's have a look at the Mishnah. Rabbi Shmuel Eimer, ein madlikin beitron, the pnei covered a Shabbos, and Rashi says because it smells very bad. So let's see what the Gemara says. My time. What is the reason why Rabbi Shmuel doesn't allow it? Since it has a very bad smell, we're afraid that, yeah, you'll light it, but then you're not going to eat there. You're going to eat in the kitchen. So let him go out. Rashi says, what's the big deal? So he was Mekayim there, so now he won't eat there. Because I say, Hatlokas ner b'Shabbos choiva. And Rashi says choiva means it's covered Shabbosu, she'ein suda chashuva ela b'mokim or ke'en yomama. The chiyuv of the suda Shabbos is only if it's light. So if you go into a different room where it's dark because you don't want to tolerate the smell of this itram, that's a problem.
The whole point, I thought the whole point was shalom bias also, right? So I don't really understand his shaila. Like,
I'm not understanding.
The whole point of initial lighting is for shalom bias, so you should be able to, see or whatever, not trip or
right.
Wasn't that that was the whole initial premise of lighting? So
right, but part of it is so when you have your suda, it should be an enjoyable suda.
Yes, isn't that a known thing? I don't even understand why he's asking in the first place. Why a bias?
What's the havamina of v'yetze? What's a bias havamina of v'yetze? It's poshut. That's the whole thing.
Yeah,
I hear. That's a good question. It's poshut that the whole purpose of it is to benefit from it. So if you're going to go into the next room, you should have had as a poshut that you're not makayim the mitzvah.
Right.
I hear. That's a very good question.
The next room is dark.
Correct. So that's exactly what Dovid's saying.
Yeah.
The next room is dark, so obviously you're not going to be makayim the mitzvah if you light it and then go into the next room.
Obviously, you're not going to go into the next room because it's dark.
No, the Gemara says we're afraid. Shemi and Yichena v'yetze.
Right.
The Bible says to let him go. What's the big deal? Who cares?
Yeah. So my question is similar to Dovid's, meaning that why would you go into the next room? It's dark, and you can't have the shalom bayis. You can't eat a meal where it's dark. The whole point of eating of lighting is so that you should have a meal when it's light. That's all. I'm just really I'm just embellishing Dovid's question.
Well, that's really what the Gemara. That's what the Gemara asked. Why don't you just go out? So
I like Dovid. I seem to think like him often.
Actually,
he just likes his own opinion.
Actually, Tzvi, your name was in my dream for some reason. I don't know. So there you go.
Yossi, could you read just Rashi again? I think there's something fundamental here. Chayva.
Kavod Shabbosu. It's covered Shabbos. She'ein suda chashuva. It's not. The suda is not chashuv, or it's not considered a good suda. Ela b'makim or, unless it's light. Ke'en yomama. It has to be bright. It has to be a bright light.
Right. So therefore, the covet of Shabbos is right away he morphs into the suda chashuva. Right. In other words, I think the havamin was okay. I lit the candles, so now the candles are lit. So the living room's lit, but I'm going to eat in the kitchen.
That's a good point. I want to bring in. I just noticed right now, Tosfos also touches on what you're saying. Tosfos at Lakas Ner b'Shabbos Chayva Pirish b'Makam Suda. So the chiddush here is that there's a chiyuv where you're eating bedafka, the chayvi sheyisod v'makam aner mishum onig. There's a special chiyuv to eat where it's lit. Album me'adlakas ner gufei, which is what Dovid was suggesting, from the actual primary mitzvah of adlakas ner, lo have a parach abai. That wasn't shver. The pshita the chayvi, like Dovid said, it's a chiyuv to have light. But the chiddush here is that the chiyuv not only is to have light in the house, but the chiyuv is to have light particularly where you're eating. That's not it's not just Hashem is adlakas ner. So I think that now that makes things much more clearly. I think Dovid was mechavan to touch his kasha as well. And that is that, sure, we know you need light, but who said you have to have light by the Suda? And we're concerned that you're going to leave the Suda, and you're going to want to eat somewhere else because it smells where the candle is. Okay, I know Reb Elevin spoke out AGUDA that if you're in your sukkah and the light goes out in the sukkah, you're supposed to eat inside your house because it's not a proper eating when you're eating in the sukkah. And he says, yeah, it's nice to go ask your neighbor if you could move into their sukkah, but that's also very uncomfortable. So the poskim or matter, if your light goes out and you're not comfortable, you don't have to knock on your neighbor's door to go into his sukkah. You can actually just go into your house. Amar Rav Nachman bar Zavda, Amar Rav Nachman bar Rova, Amar Rav, Hatlakas ner b'Shabbos, chayva. There's a chiyuv to light ners on Shabbos, and Rashi says again it's even for the Suda. Now, very important for us all to know. Rechitzas yadayim v'raglayim bechamin arvis rishus. Rechitzas, washing your hands. Rashi says washing your hands and feet. Arvis means leil Shabbos. It's a rishus to wash your hands and feet with warm water on Shabbos. Vani oimer, but Rav Nachman bar Rava want to say that mitzvah. There's a special mitzvah Friday night to wash your hands and feet with warm water. My mitzvah, what is the mitzvah? The Amar Rav Yehuda, Amar Rav, Kach Hayim and Haggai Shal Rav Yehuda bar Liluy, Erev Shabbos Mevi'in Loi Areva Malei Achavim. Erev Shabbos, they would bring him a shissel full of warm water. V'roichetz panav yodav v'raglov. He would wash his hands, his feet, and his face, his hands, and his feet. Umisatef v'yoshev b'sadinim hametzuyotzim. He would wrap himself in Rashi says sadinim shal pishton linen begodim v'etzitz shal tcheles climb. He actually wore tzitzis that were climb. Elashem mutim in Torah. It's mutim in Torah to have climb of wool on a beged that's linen. The Ashina and Smuchin, it says Lashil B'Shatnes, and then right after that the pasuk says Gedilim Tasalacha, and we learn from there that you're allowed to use tzitzis even if the tzitzis together with the garment make it shatnes. So he used to do that. And V'doima L'malach Hashem Tzvi. When Yehuda bar Liluy sat as he was fully prepared for Shabbos, waiting for Shabbos to arrive, he looked like a malach. He shone like a malach. The only thing that I could remotely link to this is how the Schwarze Wolf looked, Shalashuda's time, when the rabbi finally made it. Anyway, so there's a mitzvah. Now it's a little bit confusing over here because Rav Amarav was saying that the mitzvah is to wash your hands Friday night, wash your hands and feet with warm water Friday night. But Rabbi Yehuda bar Liluy seemed to have done it Erev Shabbos. And then it says, his Talmidim, who also wore linen, they didn't put tzitzis on their beged. So because of that, they were embarrassed because they weren't wearing tzitzis. So they would hide the edges of their beged so that Rabbi Yehuda bar Liluy wouldn't be able to see it because they weren't wearing tzitzis. And we'll soon see why they didn't wear tzitzis. Amr Lahen, he told them, Bonai, Loi kach shanisi lachem, did I not teach this to you? That sudden betzitzis, Beishamai poitrin, ubesil mechayvin, Valacha kedivir besil. Besil holds, you're supposed to put tzitzis of tcheles on a beged that's linen, even though it's Shabbos. The inu sabri, but his Talmidim held, the Talmidim that didn't want to put the shatnez on their beged, held gzera mishum ksus loila. A ksus loila is not mechuyev in tzitzis. So they were afraid that if their regular beged that was made out of linen, if they put wool and tzitzis on it, that wouldn't be a problem. But what if they're Suslala? What if they did the same in their pajamas, which does not have a chiyuv tzitzis? There, they're putting on Shabbat Shaloi b'makom mitzvah. So because of that, they didn't even put tzitzis on their sus yoim. They're being mevatel a mitzvah d'oraisa. So on that, the Gemara says, "Ubi yavamis parchinon v'chi bezdin masnin laker davar min haTorah lifter as a chiyuv." Can bezdin, because of a gzeira, actually uproot a mitzvah of tzitzis, saying that even though mid'oraisa you have to put tzitzis on this beged, they're exempting you? Yes, bezdin will prevent you from doing a mitzvah if it doesn't take a positive action. It's just not doing something. They will make such a gzeir even to be mevatel a mitzvah, and that's why the Talmidim of Rabbi Yehuda bar Liluy did not put tzitzis on their linen clothing. Rashi the Novi tells us this is an Eoiv. He said, I'm in such a bad situation that I totally forgot what it meant to have, the article that you despaired. I'm totally despaired from ever having any goodness. And then the pasuk continues on and says, Nashishi Toiva, I forgot anything about goodness. So my v'tiznach mishalom nafshi. What does it mean that my soul despaired from having peace? What is he referring to? So Eoy was crying that I forgot I've totally despaired from even having a light on Shabbos. That's how bad things are for me. And Nashishi Toiva, I forgot what goodness means. I forgot what it felt like to take a shower. So I'm not feeling too good. Rabbi Yochanan says, Rabbi Yochanan, Zu rechitzas yadayim v'raglayim b'cham. It's not referring to a merchot, that's something more basic. It's referring to even a higher level of tainug, and that is this extra washing your hands and feet, which is an extra tainug. Rabbi Yitzchak Navcha Amar, it was referring to even a greater tainug. Zu mita no b'kelim noim shelah. He said, sure I have showers, and sure I have the rechitza. What I don't have is a geshmak of fresh bed with geshmak of linen and geshmak of pajamas. That's what I miss. We're starting to sound like Antoinette, like David mentioned yesterday. The terrible lacks that he's complaining about, the terrible things that he's complaining about that are lacking, are becoming more and more luxurious as we move on. Abba Amar Zu mita mutzas, that's having a beautifully prepared bed. The isha mekushetes, and a beautiful wife prepared and dressed like hamidi chacham. So there's different pshat. And one pshat is hamidi mutzas is one thing, and isha mekushetes is to have a wonderful wife. And there's some of the Mefarshim say, the article brings down, that hamidi chacham are supposed to be mezavag with their wives on Friday night. So that's what it's referring to. It's referring to hamidi mutzas and isha mekushetes for hamid chacham. Who has a mitzvah of oina on Leil Shabbos. Tanu Rabban, Eizehu Osher. What makes somebody rich? It doesn't say someone who has cash to invest when all the markets are crashing. What it says is Kol sheyesh nachas ruach b'osher. Someone who has nachas from his osher, and Rashi says what that means is samech b'chelkoi ima'at imrav. Someone who's samech b'chelkoi, that's an osher. I call that an osher midirabbanan, because it's only the ashiris that the chachamim squeeze into the definition of ashiris. Yes, I wish everybody here ashiris d'oraisa, cash in the bank.
Isn't this? This is the Gemara. This is. I mean, we have the Mishnah from Pirkei Avos. So
that's right.
Right.
So this is a different brisa that says the same thing as the Mishnah in Pirkei Avos. He doesn't say Samech
B'chalko. That's what
Rashi explains that Nachas Ruach B'Asher means Samech B'chalko Imat Imrav. So just another way of saying the same thing.
The problem that I find is that the Gemara uses the word Ashroi.
Ashroi, exactly.
Yeah, so I think what that means is whatever you have, you're happy with. That's exactly the point.
Yeah, but Ashroi means wealth. Ashroi means wealth, does it not?
Right, and wealth means if you're happy with what you have, then you're wealthy. I don't either understand it.
If I may, just to do the diak in the words, Ashroi here is specifically speaking about wealth. So therefore, Rashi says, Samech b'chelkoi imat b'imrav, because that's a quantifiable amount that you could say, I have 100,000 in the bank or I have $100 in the bank. So you got to be happy either way. The Mishnah of Sameach b'chelkoi, chelkoi is not only about money. Chelkoi is the wife, is the children, is the in-laws, the parents, the shul you're davening, the Zoom group you're davening. Chelkoi is the whole enchilada, everything together. So, right? So that one, Ezu Asher Sameach b'chelkoi, means you got to find your diversification wherever it is that you got to be happy with the entire lot. That's how I see it. Not just the quantum, which Rashi means here, is money.
Okay. Sure. Now the next Gemara is going to take us to different types of wealth. Siman Matkas, it's referring to Reb Meyer, Reb Tarfon, and Kuf is I'm not sure if it's Reb YOSY and Shimon Elazar. I'm not sure who it's referring to.
Rabbi Akiva. Okay. The article says what it's referring to. Okay, so let's see what the Gemara says. Now, as an introduction to the Gemara is talking about the different motivations that people have to be wealthy. So, Kol sheyesh like kuf kramim. What's wealthy? How do you define wealth? If you have 100 vineyards, umeya sadas, and 100 fields, so that's like having 10,000 apartment units. And you have a third-party manager that runs the whole show. So you just get your check every month. So it's someone who has a lot of nechasim and has someone to take care of his nechasim for him. That's the definition of wealth. So the Forshim explain, he brings down here in the article from the Marsha, that one of the motivations for people to have wealth is because it makes you feel important and it gives you status. So Zok Tarfin, no matter how much wealth a person has, there's always more, and it's never ending. So that motivation to have wealth, to be something special, that will never satisfy a person because he's always going to want more. Rabbi Akiva said the second motivation to have wealth is so that you could wine and dine and pamper your wife. So Rabbi Akiva said a wife who's basing her relationship with you on being wined and dined will also never be happy. She'll always want more. So Rabbi Akiva says, Kol sheyesh isha noah b'maisim. What's true wealth? True wealth is someone who has a wife who's noah b'maisim, who's not demanding and who's not difficult. That's the ultimate in wealth. YOSY Omer, the third reason why somebody wants to have a lot of wealth is because then he has peace of mind, so that on a rainy day, there's cash in the bank to take care of him. If he chas v'sholom becomes sick and he can no longer work and he can no longer earn, if he has money in the bank, he'll have that peace of mind to keep him calm. Zok Reb YOSY, what is peace of mind? Kol sheyesh li beis hakisei samach l'shulchan. Someone who has a beis hakisei close to a shulchan, because that's a very healthy arrangement to have, because the Gemara teaches us that someone who holds it in causes tremendous illness. So health is the most important. Tanya Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar, ein madlikin b'tzvi. You're not allowed to light with a chemical called tzvi. Rashi, the article tells us that's balsam oil, which smells very nice. It's actually good stuff. My timer, why can't you use balsam? Amorava, it smells so good, we're afraid you're going to take some oil out of the flame. And Rashi says that we know if you add oil to a lamp on Shabbos, you're chayav al tzmavir, and if you take oil out of a lamp on Shabbos, you're chayav al tzmachaber, because by removing some of the fuel, you're going to actually put out the fire sooner. So since it smells so good, we're afraid someone's going to take some of it on Shabbos. Now, we've heard of many people who don't get along with their in-laws, and we've heard about tremendous hatred that sometimes exists between mothers-in-laws and daughters-in-laws. We're now going to see a story that takes the cake. Omer le Abaye. Abaye said, Lema Mar, why don't you say mipnei shu af? There's another problem lighting with balsam oil. It's af. What does af mean? It goes into the environment, it goes up into the air, and it actually sticks to the walls. Rashi shu af nidbak b'kos le Abayis. So you're going to end up having fumes of the balsam oil that's going to adhere to the walls, and now your walls will become flammable. Umadlik is abayis. I saw on Facebook this week a woman who used these cleansers, like the Purells, on their hand, so their whole arms were sort of coated with an alcohol, which is flammable. And then she went to light her gas stove, and both her arms went up in fire because she literally had barbecue lighter fluid, barbecue starting fluid all over her arms, because that's really what these alcoholic-based hand cleansers are. So that's a reason why you should not be allowed to use balsam oil. It's a safety hazard. So, Kimo, you're right. There's actually two reasons why you shouldn't use balsam oil to light. There's Chadim show off for oid gzeira shema yistapik mimen. And now it's a Geshmaka story. There was this mother-in-law. She was a very nice lady. I would say that her name started with a W, started with a B, and rhymed with witch. And to have a sneah leilechalta. She hated her dear daughter-in-law. And she told her daughter-in-law, my dear daughter-in-law, I bought you makeup. I bought you a beautiful makeup kit. I want you to use it and put it on for me right now. Amarla, she told her dear daughter-in-law, Zil ikshit b'mishtid aparsima. I bought you in Yorkdale a beautiful makeup set that's made out of beautiful smelling balsam oil. I'd like you to put this perfume on right away. Osla ikshit. So the daughter-in-law said, thank you, mommy. And she went and she right away put on this beautiful balsam perfume. When she came back from her powder room, Amrlay, her mother-in-law told her, Zil itli shraga, why didn't you turn on the light? So Osla she went, Isla shraga, she lit a lamp, and boom, inbach manura vachlasa, she got burned to death. I'm not sure exactly how that mother-in-law explained to her son what occurred while he was out for the day. But that's the end of the story. That's called ending the shir with a boom.
Unless she was in on it. Unless he was in on it.
Zolder
They insured her for $1 million.
This is how they do it in Pakistan, I think.
Zolder Rebbeinu help that all of our tzoros and all of our difficulties and all of our stresses should go up and flame like a boom.
Amen.
I got a message that that audio file is likely a Rabbi Teitelbaum who used to live in Balter and now lives in New York.
Okay. Is that a reliable source?
But I'm not saying 100%, but it's a reliable source.
Okay. Okay, thank you.